Hello, everybody. Welcome back to We Are Nerd. Josh couldn't make it today because of reasons. But that's okay because our segment today is going to be talking about Star Wars, and I brought a guest that's also a fellow Star Wars fan, Jon Mitchell. John?
Hi.
Want to tell us about yourself?
I'm John and I like Star Wars.
That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
Great. Perfect. Today we're going to be doing our personal rankings of all the 11 live-action movies. Episode 1 through 9, Rogue One, and Solo.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and have our goodness. We need a title for you, Etzel. We're gonna have a countdown going from the least favorite to the most favorite, and we have our boards over here. Do you want to give a shout out to anybody before we get started?
Shout out to everyone.
Everyone.
You're
This
all
is for
so
you.
beautiful and wonderful human beings, and so on and so forth.
This is fine. All right, Etzel.
All right. So for number 11. Okay. All right, John.
Attack of the Clones.
Last Jedi.
Mm.
Okay.
No.
Okay. We talked about this before with Rian Johnson. He really just threw away everything that J.J. Abrams was setting up for from 7 to 8. I really just feel like this is a real slap to the face of just like, forget everything that you want to do. We're gonna literally just take away all of that and do something different. Rise of Skywalker came and he's like, no, we're gonna do everything I want to do again because I pick up the pieces. Pretty much the new trilogy
The
messed
sequel
up. I feel
trilogy,
like
yeah.
this movie was the cause of it. And I feel like it had a lot of potential. I think one of the big things about that was Luke Skywalker was very out of character
Yeah.
to me. Like during the lightsaber, I feel like I chuckled a little bit, but at the same time I'm like, there was like an aftertaste of why they're trying to find the hacker.
Yeah.
I can understand that plans don't go to plan.
Yeah.
And I get it 100%, but I just feel like that part wasn't even interesting.
No. Well, it was a side mission
That was the part I
belongs
fell
in a
asleep
video
on.
game that was entirely useless.
No, I didn't like it.
They didn't find the guy that they couldn't get the guy they originally went for, and the new guy came in and betrayed them within 40 seconds of him doing his job.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand. My thing with Attack of the Clones is kind of like what you're talking about. It felt like an entire movie worth of a side mission to me. Acting in general, for me, it wasn't necessarily just the story. It was everything about the movie. The best part of the whole movie was Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
The best part of the whole original, or not original, but the prequel trilogy
was
was Obi-Wan in general. Yeah. But just how much Anakin whined about everything
and
throughout the whole film was just uncomfortable and unsettling.
you can't really put all of that on Hayden Christensen because it was the way that George Lucas wanted him to act.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, you can't really put that on him, but it's just, yeah, I understand what you mean, though.
Not even just that, too. I mean, granted, none of the effects from the original trilogy either, really, but they at least used practical stuff back then. Nothing, or very minimal in Attack of the Clones was practical, so the CG just hasn't held up whatsoever. And there are movies from back then that have, and I know they had the budget for that.
And I think there was a scene where Anakin was going through the conveyor belt and he completely missed the door.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that was number 11.
All right.
Okay, so for number 10, show me at the same time. Ready?
Okay.
So, go on.
Hey.
This was a very almost even tie for this and episode 2 for me. For entirely different reasons, but still.
Although they're forgettable, The Last Jedi I hated more than Solo. Like, it just doesn't hold its place in the whole Star Wars cinematic universe.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what the purpose of that movie was for, but
Money.
It really, yeah, pretty much. The only reason why I watched it, well, besides that I'm a Star Wars fan, I also was watching it for Donald Glover for playing Lando Calrissian.
Well past the idea of forgettable, it just wasn't needed.
Yeah,
That was kind
that
of
is also true.
one of the better things about Han Solo to me in the original series was he had a mystery about him.
Mm-hmm.
At
Yeah.
no point while watching it was like, wow, I really wish I knew what happened when he was a kid. How'd he meet Chewie? None of that mattered to me at all. And when they first announced they were going to start doing these prequel movies, I don't know what else to call it, in-betweeners, really.
In-betweeners, yeah. Yeah.
When they first announced that he was the one that was going to get that prequel movie, I was just kind of like, why? Like, I would much rather see Yoda or anybody else, really. than the one person that had that mystery about him that I just loved. Darth Maul being in there, fanfare, I get that, 100%. That was cool, whatever. But it was solely for the Clone Wars, and not everybody has seen the Clone Wars. If you haven't seen the Clone Wars, you have no idea why he was in there after being dead already. Dead.
Would you say he was walking with his robotic legs?
Yes, robotic legs.
He was roaming around, let's say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best.
It had really cool shots. It did. The whole train sequence and stuff, visually
cool.
a great movie.
A smuggling movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Visually, it's just so unnecessary and unneeded when they had so many better options.
The
to go
Kessel
with.
Run.
Incredible shot.
It was, but at the same time and I'm sorry for forgetting the droid's name, but putting her consciousness in the ship,
Yeah.
it was really just her navigating through that, wasn't it? Well, what if it's the ship that's making him a good pilot and not him himself?
Yeah, he's over here. I did the Kessel Run. No, you didn't. Not according to this film. But being unbiased as possible about this, when it came out, I never heard anything about it when it came out. The only thing I ever heard about was, hey, Darth Maul's in it.
I didn't hear anything going in. I think it was like a couple weeks after I'm like, let's just watch it, get it over with. Maybe it's not as bad, because I'm very optimistic. We go there, and we left the theater, like, it wasn't bad, but it just, like I said, like, I would have been okay without it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, okay.
All right, you ready?
Nope.
I'm changing my list.
What?
I'm changing it.
Poncho, it's obvious you don't have a designated care for this list anymore.
And I wrote it, and I'm like, no, that can't be right. So, yes, I changed it.
All right.
I wanted to.
All right.
I might change it again.
No.
Let's go back to 11.
No, that's the official set.
Let's go back to 11.
Ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go.
What'd you pick?
Cheater.
Nice. I really did not look at his. Like I was looking at it because that was gonna be number 8.
Yeah.
But I'm like, nah, there's no way I can put that movie over that movie. Because this just.
No. I mean, you really can. That's kind of one of the points here is you can skip it. Back on the visual side of it, there are parts of the movie that are just awesome. You know, lightsaber battles probably has easily one of the most memorable lightsaber battles in the whole series with, you know, Darth Maul and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. Great shot. That's all of 5 minutes of the whole 2.5 hour film.
Obi-Wan is always a win. The song, like da 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 da.
Sure.
Duel of the Fates, yeah. John Williams does a great job in the whole Star Wars music, and shout out to John Williams.
Yeah.
I want to say Darth Maul is kind of a win, but since he didn't really get to do that much, I feel like that also counts as a loss. I was a kid whenever I first watched this, so I would always skip the political stuff and go right to the
just every action scene
right
possible,
to the action scene. Jar Jar.
See, I disagree.
Here's the
unpopular opinion number 1 today. I disagree. I think Jar Jar was actually really, he served his purpose. He was supposed to be comedic relief. He was funny.
I feel like it was too much. When I first watched it, I was younger. I feel like that was supposed to attract kids my age.
Oh,
with the
yeah.
whole comic relief. So whenever I first watched it, like, this guy's funny. He talks weird. But when I got older, he did get annoying. But I just did not like how annoyingly too much of the comic relief he was trying to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand his purpose, why he was there and stuff, and
But
it suited that.
what I don't disagree with was the actor's backlash for that, like how he was getting a whole bunch of same thing with Rose, and I'm like, I would never take it that far to where I blame the actor.
Yeah,
and that is just
they're just doing their part. The director wants something in particular, they have to do that. That's what they got brought in for. Jar Jar gets way too much hate. It's a beautiful man or reptilian lizard, whatever. He gradually disappears throughout the prequel trilogy. So
after he hands them the power to the Senate,
bleep here.
No, leave the bleep. He needs to know what he did.
No, as a 6-year-old, oh my lord.
Actually, no. Hang on a second. What I didn't like was how they made a barricade and they were trying to legally
do it.
They were trying to legally like have control of that planet.
Yeah,
and it's like
How is the
You're
Star
invading.
Wars?
How
Yeah.
is this legal? No, like,
Sign this treaty so we can invade you, please. We would
Legally.
appreciate that, really.
because we just like are
That's a very
law-abiding
valid
citizens.
point. I've 20 years later, I've never thought of it that way, and I'm just thinking about it now. Like,
Would we watch it as fans? Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, like it is part of their story
Yeah, it's
and as
canon.
characters.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say when we were talking about that at that point, when I watched it for the first time, I was like, it didn't make sense in my head
Yeah.
how they were trying to pass that to legally invade,
Yeah.
and I thought I was the only one confused.
Oh, okay. So you noticed it, but you just
I
didn't
know,
say anything.
but it didn't make sense to me, so I was
Yeah.
like, maybe I'm getting it wrong myself.
that's the other thing too. Watching other people, like other movie critics and all this other stuff, talk about it.
Yeah.
Nobody ever brings that up.
Like it, so I thought about it, but I never thought of it. Like maybe I'm the weird one, not thinking that this is right. But no, I've heard someone talk about. Okay, well, I'm glad I'm not the only one, and
Yeah.
clearly I'm not. So, thank you, Etzel.
So we are on number 8. 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Your show, you go first.
I was younger whenever I watched it, so whenever the first time I saw all the Jedi coming to help Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padme, I thought that was awesome as.
Okay.
And we see Yoda like doing his Force and the Force lightning with Count Dooku. I thought that was really cool. The bad things I don't like is again with the whole political stuff. It was kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, they send the one Jedi that is just unstably emotionally connected to her.
Yeah.
Wait, no, that was his plan,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
But it's a ridiculous plan because they're sitting there from the whole first movie. They're like, this guy is gonna be dangerous. Yoda and Windu both like,
Yeah.
they're dark side right here, bad. All right, let's make him a Jedi. Hey, you know what? Let's also send him to the person that we're trying to protect. Just him alone on a planet by themselves. Nothing will happen.
So when you say it, I believe you. Have you ever noticed in the movie where every time Yoda says, "I will not train you," okay, I'll train you.
Yeah.
You did that with Luke. You did that with Anakin. I mean, it's
And Luke did that with Rey.
yeah.
That's just the Jedi way,
That's just
man.
the Jedi way. Yeah.
Yeah, false statements all around. No wonder they failed.
Oh my god. I think it's the setting up of the dark side
Mm-hmm.
that's within Anakin whenever he kills the sand people
Mm-hmm.
and
The women and the children too.
and then Padme was just like, "Oh my god, I'm in love with you," you know?
Yeah. You murder
Um,
children, but let's have a baby.
Yeah. And,
2 of them.
Yeah. And then you have the clones having
Right.
having them ready for the clone and the droid battles and
Okay.
wars, clone wars. Hey, that should be a thing. So yeah, I'm done talking.
All right. I don't know. I like The Last Jedi more for a few different reasons. I feel like a lot with Attack of the Clones because, once again, like with Episode 1, even Episode 3, visually really awesome scenes.
Mhm.
No story at all,
No,
really.
there
It's
was
just not.
none.
It set up the TV show towards the end of it, and that's great. But that's all it's really got going for it. The Last Jedi to me, even though the reasons that towards closer to the bottom third of my list, is because of the issue that they went in with the story in mind and everything, and then Ryan Johnson came in and said, you know what, we're going to do my story, so I'm going to take everything from this one and cancel it out over here and then start my own. How I felt when I left the theater in terms of the visuals of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was a beautiful movie. The whole end scene with the walkers and everything, it was a gorgeous film. Forgettable? Yeah, but so
Yeah.
were the past 3 that I said, really.
It brought a lot more comedic stuff than I thought it would.
Yeah.
With the whole like you feel that's the Force, and it's like what? Oh my god! Whenever Luke Skywalker died at the end after the Force projection,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I really liked the ending of how it looked like there were 2 suns,
Mm-hmm.
like in the beginning of at Tatooine.
Yeah.
It was very symbolic, and I felt that, and I teared up because of how he's my favorite character. Mark Hamill was my favorite person. I enjoyed that.
Okay.
I didn't remember her name, but just her flying that little ship into the Star Destroyers.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot her name, but whenever she sent her ship through the Star Destroyers,
Oh, you mean the most unforgettable, or you know what? Unforgettable. No, she was very forgettable. I know
She
you're
was
talking, the
very-
general
yeah.
girl. Yeah, I know you're talking
Yeah.
about the Jurassic Park chick.
Yeah,
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 that one.
that one.
We know so much about Star Wars. 100%. It was a great scene. She's
Um,
forgettable in the sense that she didn't matter, but it was still a very good scene.
And someone was saying before, and I'm gonna have to piggyback off them. I forget who they were, but they were saying like I feel like they would have been better if it was someone that we knew, like Akbar,
Yeah.
instead of just him dying from the We almost forgot about the Mary Poppins, Leia Poppins. When I first saw it, I didn't think of it that much because I was thinking it was Kylo Ren pulling her to the ship.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really like I'm like he really cares for his mom because he was really hesitant on shooting her.
Mm-hmm.
But then later on we forgot it was Leia that was doing it. I'm like, oh, well then she's a god at this point.
That scene wouldn't have been that bad to me because it's been hinted in the past that she's learning the Force and she'll have some Force in her. And what got me about the scene is they added music to it. Yeah. She straight up did the whole Superman pose, pointed her finger, and flew through space.
Force, that way.
Yeah. The whole scene was so cheesy that it kind of took away from the whole, oh, she has Force abilities thing, which there's 20 different things in that one scene they could have done with. They could have, missile hits ship starts exploding, she contains explosion. They could have done literally anything else. And it would have been alright. Instead, they had her Superman through space with music in the background. The only thing that would have made it worse is instead of doing one finger, if she just went.
Or doing the whole. Beat me up, Scotty. Like, what'd she say?
I will admit that I've never laughed so hard in a Star Wars movie in my life when I saw that scene. Me and Naomi were watching it and I was just dying. That's the other thing, too. She died in real life.
Yeah.
Why not utilize that opportunity to send her off in a genuine farewell in the movie?
Well, I think they still had footage for the 9th episode.
Yeah, but episode 9 didn't really utilize her either. It could have gone without her.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And rest in peace to Carrie Fisher. I love her a lot, and she is a great character in the Star Wars, and that's why we have her out right here.
Yep.
She'll forever be in our Star Wars hearts. And yeah, I love you.
All right, so for the next one is number 7. It doesn't take that long.
Oh, it does though. Oh my god.
Joseph.
All right.
Gosh. Should write a whole paragraph.
All
right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. This is gonna be fun.
For one reason. This is going to be the shortest one for me. There's
okay.
one singular reason on here, but you can go.
Okay. Well,
for me, it's going to be the shortest.
The reason why it took so long is because I put, who are you? I'm Ray. And then Ray who? And it's like, what's with the questions? Skywalker, happy? Kind of in the middle. Because after we watched it the night that it came out. And usually whenever you leave the theater, like an end game or in something where it's the end, like it's the last of the saga, you leave the theater like, wow, it's over, but what a great ending.
Yeah.
I had the wow, it's over, but not wow, what a great ending. I didn't mind the relationship between Rey and Kylo Ren or Ben, because evil and good.
Right. The kiss was unneeded. It was out of nowhere.
And I'm gonna get to that, but the good things I could think, using the Force to transfer things, like with a lightsaber and figuring out where they are. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Seeing Lando again, seeing Han in a memory, even though it felt kind of weird, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because for one, I never thought Harrison Ford would be back. I thought I'd be like, finally, I'm gone.
He made very clear that he didn't really want to be.
He didn't. The things that I didn't like about it was, for one, we know that Leia was Force sensitive.
Right.
We know this. But we never saw how much of Force, because I believe that there were some characters that were like they couldn't use the Force, but they sensed it. Like, I forgot her name. Put the picture right here. But she's somewhat Force sensitive in a way. Mm-hmm. I thought that was the case with Leia. And then you don't really know until the flashbacks and, oh, you've been training me with the Force. And it's like, that would have been nice to know in the other movies. At the end of the saga, I was just left with more questions than answers. And
Okay.
as much as I had a good time, I didn't leave the theater with the happiness and the fulfillment that I should have left with.
Okay. That's fair. So Empire Strikes Back, for one reason.
Okay.
The whole ending scene. The whole, just know I am your father, that
Yeah.
thing. That whole Empire was just awesome to me.
Just to know I'm your father.
Well, no, the whole last battle scene between Darth Vader and Luke and everything.
But why is it not a higher?
You know, it's funny, as I said, I was going to make this the shortest one I've ever had.
Go ahead. No, because
really wants it.
no, because
it was
I
cool.
need content. But you prefer other
It
movies
was
over that
genuinely
one.
rememberable, unlike almost everything from the films I said previously. The whole rest of the movie wasn't that memorable for me, but that whole last and third act was just everything. I even kept the word short. I just wrote Empire, where you wrote a paragraph.
I was trying to be funny.
We're on number 6.
Number
All right.
6.
In 3, 2, 1. Okay.
What did you get?
Episode 6, why?
A little bit more of the fulfillment of the ending.
Okay.
It wasn't the best ending because people were complaining about the Ewoks on Endor.
I love the
and,
Ewoks.
And I'm not saying they're terrible. Like the Empire just seems like less powerful, I guess, in a way.
Okay.
Like how did they get this far if Ewoks can kick their ass? Know what I
Touche.
mean?
No, yeah,
And,
I got you. I got you.
I didn't have a problem with the second Death Star, even though I feel like I should. Trying to get Han back was cool, but Boba Fett dying super fast. That was
Just on the subject of Boba Fett, real quick. I've never understood, as a person, individual opinion here,
Yeah.
his popularity. Because not only is he barely in the movies at all, he dies in the most ridiculously pathetic way. He's a bounty hunter, but he gets tossed into the thing he's trying to push somebody else into, and then he screams like a little girl when he does it.
He got hit by a blind man with a stick into a Sarlacc pit. Captain Phasma,
Yeah, touche.
they're badass people that didn't do anything.
The
just died super
opportunity was there to make another badass type character. Not a bounty hunter, but somebody.
fast. And then same thing with the Knights of Ren.
The Knights of Ren were a lot cooler come the Rise of Skywalker, though.
I really like the relationship with Darth Vader and Luke, how he became more father figure, he protect them.
Right.
It is higher because I'm a big fan of Luke Skywalker. It's not higher because of the Endor itself.
Okay.
There are enjoyable times on Return of the Jedi,
Uh-huh.
but the ending I feel like could have been a little better.
Okay.
Okay.
Force Awakens. And I think it was a beautiful start to a new trilogy that went horribly the opposite direction. Everything they tried to set it up with Force Awakens, I feel like was genuinely working very well.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that it was basically just a rehash of A New Hope.
Yeah, that's
Seemed a little lazy. Had new elements and stuff, but it was the exact same storyline pretty much.
I really
So-
like
so
the
much
camera
better.
work with how they're following the Millennium Falcon going through the Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
That one was really cool.
Yeah.
And-
There were
and
just a
Jakku.
lot of very good. I'm huge on visuals in movies.
Yeah.
And story is also very important, but just visual aspects in general. That's what makes you feel something when you're actually watching the movie, trying to be there with it. And you know, JJ did a really good job, I think, with it. Aside from all the camera flares, because he loves that.
All right, what number are we at now?
5.
Oh my God, we're halfway there.
Cool.
Right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Me personally, it was easy to follow, fanfare. What I didn't like about it, well, it wasn't this movie's fault, but all the setup was taken away, which sucks. What sucked was Han dying.
Mm-hmm.
I predicted Chewie was gonna die. I also put on there, rip Han Solo. I should have put
In
rip
half.
Luke and rip everybody. I like the cast that they were having set up.
Right.
Daisy Ridley. Don't tell me his name.
'Cause
John
I don't-
Boyega.
There you go. I didn't know that.
And then, you also got Poe Dameron, Oscar Isaac. I like all three. So me personally, I enjoyed the setup of the trilogy more than the ending.
That's fair. All right, so I chose Rise of Skywalker for a few reasons.
Go ahead.
I didn't hate the whole Palpatine showing up there.
Me
I thought
neither.
that was great.
Me neither.
I think action-wise, Rise of Skywalker had a lot more going for it.
Okay, yeah. What about all the Jedis coming together to motivate her up?
That was really cool. The only thing that got me about that is I couldn't tell for a minute if it was supposed to be young Anakin or old or both.
Well, it was Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
Hayden Christensen.
There you go.
What I liked is that they actually got the people, and they also got the voice of Ahsoka on there.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool, getting all these people back. And
Yeah, they even brought in some people from Clone Wars that were in there, and yeah, it's supposed to be the ending to the Skywalker saga.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars isn't over. I mean, it's like with MCU; they're gonna do more with it.
just
So,
different.
in terms of what I expected out of the movie, I actually got what I wanted
Okay.
out of it. So I enjoyed it a lot.
All right, so we're down to number 4.
Number 4.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
What did you even put on? Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah.
Okay, Rogue One.
So Revenge of the Sith, because it was the least cringy of all the original trilogy, but the prequel trilogies.
Yeah.
I like third acts.
Oh, yeah. It was
The
great.
final acts are definitely the best ones of the possible 3 it could be. The only thing about the entire movie that I could not stand was how Padme died.
Yeah.
And I know everybody can agree with me on that. She died from sadness, and that's just not okay.
Sadness.
Could have literally been anything. Could have been the fact that he strangled her. They could have had something to do
Or
with that.
childbirth.
Or birth itself. She gave birth to
Twins.
2 fairly large twins. Those babies were big. Part of it, I actually enjoyed the whole film.
Mm-hmm. I agree with
Just
you
the
there.
third act more than anything else, because that's when you start seeing Darth Vader pop up and the eyes going all red, and Anakin legitimately changing for the first time, other than just whining in the past 2 movies.
Rogue One for me, as number 4. Going in, I had an idea of what it was gonna be, but I left the movie surprised on how good that movie was.
Okay.
It didn't end like your regular movie, like Happy Ever After. What's the next adventure?
Yeah.
That was their last mission. They died for that information, and God, just a whole that was the legit Suicide Squad. And K2SO was probably my favorite character, voiced by Alan Tudyk. Great story, easy to follow. There was a couple of side missions.
Yeah.
But it involved the ending to where they had to
the
get
overall
this stuff.
purpose of what needed to get done. Yeah.
Getting the plans to the Death Star.
Right.
And giving it to CGI faced Leia. Which I didn't mind. I mean, it did not look good with Tarkin. Tarkin as well.
Yeah.
Tarkin. I'm kind of glad they did it. Some people might disagree, but I mean, you kind of need him there. Darth Vader, though.
I'll get to that.
That was some badass stuff. Top 3.
Short and to the point. Anybody ready for bed yet? All right.
So for the top 3 of our movies, I forgot we had these. I got this at the premiere of The Rise of Skywalker, and they're really cool. I forgot I had them, and this is going to be for our top 3. Are you excited?
Yeah.
All right, so for number 3.
Number 3.
Yep, we're in the top 3.
We're in the end game now. Wait, wrong franchise.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Top 3.
I mean, it's classic. It's a good story. It's not the best effects wise, but it was also the first. Well, being the first film, some of the acting wasn't all that great. Like Luke whines a lot. That's just the habit in these movies.
Well,
The Skywalkers in particular just whine about everything.
Well, I think that's what George Lucas is I think that's what his goal was, to have that whininess from his dad, but then he had to make the dad kind of whiny too.
Okay.
So I feel like that was kind of genetic.
Yeah, that's fair.
They got the whiny gene.
Just bratty little people.
Yeah.
Got you. Cool. But I introduced all the characters that all became instant classics, and it was just overall enjoyable film. It's memorable. I actually know what happened in each shot. I know what to expect out of it. I can remember everything that went down in it.
Mine was episode 3. My number 3 was episode 3, Rots, or Revenge of the Sith. And I also put the dun 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 dun. done.
Before New Hope?
Revenge of the Sith, you really do see the Darth Vader coming up and the setup, the relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin. Like, I don't know why, I just like whenever the good guy becomes bad and then you see that conflict of the two friends that are now enemies. I really enjoy that a lot, and I felt that Sidious could have stopped the Force lightning if he wanted to, but he didn't because, you know, he was really stubborn. He threw Mace Windu out a window. I mean, there was some slow parts, but at the end, the battles between Yoda and Palpatine and Obi-Wan and Anakin, I enjoyed Revenge of the Sith very much. That is my favorite of the prequels.
I can agree with that.
And it was just more of a time, more of a feelingness inside.
Gotcha.
All right. Next one is number 2. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
all right, serious time, okay? Serious.
I really like the setup of the whole saga. The actors were great. I mean, it's really just the setup of the characters. I know I keep saying the actors, but it's how they portray their characters,
right?
And the setup of the characters, and I love that. And it gets you excited for the rest of the movies that are coming up after that. Mark Hamill, freaking Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher.
Also young.
Just, you know, young and just full of life.
So much hope still.
Yeah. And
that's a new kind of hope.
It's a new hope.
One might say.
Get George Lucas on the phone. We figured it out. I loved it. Easy to follow. I never get bored of it.
Right on.
I can watch it a lot and I will not get bored. I'm still not bored with it. The last thing with them and the X-Wings about to blow up the Death Star.
Oh, yeah.
That was fun, even though it kind of made no sense because there was a second one. I don't know how they got a second one before the first. Anyway, but what I didn't like, the whole will they, won't they with Luke and Leia. Not even a will they, won't they. Just a love triangle. That felt really weird. It's just really uncomfortable to watch when you're rewatching it after you already know.
For why I chose Return of the Jedi is the ending to that original Grey saga, that original great trilogy. It just left it off on the best possible note. A little bit of a cheesy note, but the best possible note they could have done for back then. They brought back Darth Vader from from the dark side, and he understood what was going on. If you watch the new, the director's cut or whatever, they actually have Hayden Christensen, that guy?
I believe so.
They have Hayden Christensen.
I didn't like that.
In that. I loved that. I thought having him as the Force Ghost was awesome.
I mean, when I first saw that, I was younger again. I was younger. And I'm like, that's super weird how this old movie has footage of young him. And I'm like...
You don't like it just because it confused you as a child?
Yes, and it still does. People were saying how, like, that was the last form of Anakin.
Yeah.
The last form of Anakin saved his own son.
Yeah, it would have been weird if they had an extremely deformed, middle-aged man...
Well, no, the way that they had it was fine.
Like,
the way they had it was fine because we know who he was.
Mm-hmm.
He was really just trying to piece everything together. I understand why he did it. I just felt like he should have left that alone.
Okay, that's fair. I loved everything about the film. I can't think of anything I didn't like. At least not right here on the spot. Just for the record, 50th disclaimer of this past 2 hours. This was on the spot.
Yes, of course.
We didn't have time to pre-think of all this stuff. We just sat down and said, this is my list. This is reasons why. Not even. Just the list.
Just the list.
And come up with, anything behind it. If I think of something later, I'll put a little comment under the YouTube video saying, this is me. This is the thing I hated about Return of the Jedi.
Yes. All right, so we're down to our last one.
Which is?
Number 1.
I've been here for 4 weeks.
I had to spell check myself.
All right. Too horrible.
It's kind of counterintuitive because, I
Dun, dun, dun. Number 1.
Number 1.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
I feel like I know. I mean, obviously, I know which one you picked.
I'm about to get all the hate for this, too.
I mean, no. I mean, you really shouldn't. I mean, it was a great film. It was really... how do you say? It was what is it called?
Underappreciated.
Yeah.
It was a part of the middle of the series that I feel like genuinely could have deserved any sort of background whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you just watch episode 3, they finish all their thing and, life sucks now because the Jedi are gone and blah, blah, blah.
Empire's taking over.
And then it immediately jumps over to episode 4 and like, we have the plans of the Death Star. Like, immediately. That's how the movie starts.
Yeah.
You just kind of sit there going, cool. How? What is the Death Star? Where did that come from? This movie did a really good job, I feel like, of explaining that.
Mm-hmm.
It was entertaining. I remember every little bit of it. I didn't get lost halfway through because I understood what was going on. The people that played it, I thought were very, very good. 2 of them are about to get their own show.
I do agree. May I just say, Rogue One, having the first Latino main character, I think it's the first Latino in general. It just made me really happy, especially Diego Luna.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of, and just seeing him in the Star Wars movie is like finally, and then he dies, and he was like, well, damn it,
Right.
like it took us 40 years for us to get a Latino as a Star Wars person, and it's gonna take another 40. I mean, I love the movie. I love what they did with it. It wasn't hard to follow. I do agree. Empire Strikes Back. I'm probably just piggybacking on everybody that watches Star Wars and knows of Star Wars, saying that Empire is the best. Empire is the best for me. I can sit here and tell you from the beginning to the end on what happens.
Right.
I like how it's in the middle because you know who the characters are. You see what's going on right now, and then it raises the questions for what they're going to resolve in other movies.
Yeah.
And then you see Skywalker going in half-cocked trying to find Darth Vader to save his friends, and he's not ready yet. And then the reveal of him being the father, I already know all of that, but watching it still, like after so many years, I don't know, acting is important to me.
Yeah.
And so Mark Hamill has to show that, like his dad that he's wanting to be the whole time is the guy that's making the galaxy like the worst place. The no is justified.
Right.
Like the no.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I'm no Mark Hamill, but I really felt that. And every time I watch it, I could watch a clip right now. I just feel it like in my gut. It's like, the story overall was great. It gets me to watch the beginning. Love watching the middle of that. And then get to finish it with Return of the Jedi.
Right.
The originals, you cannot beat the original trilogy.
No.
Nothing will beat the original trilogy. Yeah. But Empire Strikes Back, I just felt more from the characters in that movie.
Right.
Like Han, his love for Leia, just...
I know.
I can go on about that movie, but I just really... Nice. Kind of late, but yes, nice. That movie back to back, like the same day, and I would also enjoy it. Or just find things that I never found before.
Yeah.
Which is always fun to do.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. How long has it been? It's tomorrow. Great. It's 2 days? You pointed 2 fingers. That could mean anything. Well, this has been fun.
Yes.
Yeah. I usually never get to talk about Star Wars stuff because our co-host Josh is not a big fan of Star Wars, and he will be watching the Star Wars movies later on. But at the moment, we just wanted to talk about Star Wars, all 11 live-action movies, sorry. We know that there's shows and there's comic books. I personally don't follow the comic books as much, but I try to get as much information from the comics as I can. But I'm a more visual guy. I like to see what's happening in front of me, like movie-wise, so... But this has been fun, John.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Was there any Star Wars comments that you wanted to put out there?
No, I'm good. I feel like we've covered, over the past 4 years that we've been doing this, everything we need to.
Yeah, and this has been fun. You're just coming back from Colorado.
Yeah.
Just coming to see family and seeing how they're doing.
Come here. I let's be honest, I came here to pass the time.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to do up there right now.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
But in Colorado, you do get better views than what you
better
can
views.
get over
Weather's
here.
a little nicer.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
The Broncos.
No comment.
What is your football?
Chargers. I'm a Chargers fan. They're not great. They hit right there. We're gonna get into that now. We got another 2 hours to do this.
We can, but not this. Not today. Thank you for sticking around and watching our personal rankings of the 11 Star Wars movies, the live-action movies. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Check out our pages on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at We Are Nerd Co. This is Joseph. This is you.
I'm John. Hi.
See you next week.
Tell me why ain't nothing but a I mean, it's a little spicy.
What is he, like a gungan?
Gungan,
There we go.
yeah.
See, there we go.
They're all weird too. It's not just Jar Jar. It's
No,
the whole
the
civilization of Gungans. On
you said big doo doo this time.
yeah, they're all weird. That's okay. They're a civilian of weirdos. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's why number one.
Have you ever been to Colorado? Like,
oh yeah, I've been. Yeah.
Civilians are strange people. I live in
We
Colorado.
love Colorado.
Just for
We
the
love
record.
Colorado. I'm a big Denver Broncos fan. Just for the record, he lives there. I love Colorado as a state, as a team. Go Broncos, and it really just helps. Whenever he does die at the end, doing the force projection.
Yeah.
Projection.
Put a little sign right here that says "Use protection."
Use protection, guys.
Sorry, stay safe.
And you don't have to deal with an Anakin.
Yeah.
Or use protection, or Anakin will kill your kids. Goodness, I got dark. Anyway.
Star Wars abortions, kids.
Goodness. Okay, hang on. Thinking about the living room, but we would have to sit like in a very nice couch and like, yeah, no, I don't know. I just felt like the vibe would have been totally different.
What was that?
I'm scared.
Was that you?
I'm scared. Cut everything.
What was that?
Anyway.
I'm gonna put my own disclaimer. Says I'm sorry for Poncho's language. Every other word.
No, I'll bleep it out. It's
Okay.
cool.
Just
Yeah. Where's some death sticks?
He backed up for a real long time.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
where the
f-
did he back up to? That's fair.
I can cut out everything that I said. Be like, it could have been better. Cut. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
That's what you're probably gonna do with every single one of these.
yeah.
Actually, like what part of each 20-minute conversation is actually worth keeping in this 30-minute video at mass?
I'm hoping I'm spelling this right because people were saying that they spelled it wrong.
You saying you don't want to spell it wrong and have the entire internet tell you you're not spelling things right?
I'm dyslexic, so I don't give a f. You ready?
Horrible.
Disclaimer.
All right.
Poncho is dyslexic. And then spell dyslexic wrong.
I always do.
So I think it was actually a really good starting point for a new trilogy.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Am I dulling you?
I'm so sorry. Give me one more time. So sorry.
Am I boring you?
It happened so fast I couldn't even cover it. I'm so sorry. Now
Okay.
with the top 3, we have our lightsabers that I forgot that we had. That we got at the premiere of The Force of Skywalker. Let me try again. Now with the top 3 movie. God damn it, John. Thank God. Yeah, we got it.
Was it K2SO and the other dude, the French guy?
Do you mean Diego Luna?
Sure, why not?
He's Mexican.
Sure, Mexican guy, French guy, whatever.
Not the same.
Same thing.
No.
Whatever. Anyways,
What's up?
He's fully Mexican, John.
Yeah.
Don't do
Yeah,
him
well,
dirty like that, okay?
Mine was episode 3, Rots, or Revenge of the Sith.
you almost said Return of the Sith, didn't you?
Or Rots, or Return.